Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Good morning. Welcome to Mornings at the Cabin. Wheeler and Ollie with you on your Wednesday morning. It's a lovely way to wake up. I'm really glad that that Lekter produced that and Jill voiced it. Of course, I love hearing Jill's voice on the radio. She is the voice of Cabin Radio, and this is lovely.
We should throw on like 8 minutes of Slayer immediately before this each morning.
Some Anthrax or something.
Just rip up this Slipknot and then just come into this.
Yeah, a little Slipknot. Absolutely. A little Corey Taylor. Randy the Raven, of course, making a little cameo there in the middle of our intro. I don't know that Lekter wants us to comment on the intro. I think he just wants us to talk through
No,
it.
we're allowed to talk to the Raven.
Well, okay, we're allowed to talk to the Raven, but he does want us to wrap it up in 2 minutes, which I told him is impossible.
Well, I said yesterday, it became abundantly clear in the opening day of this that this was ambitious.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's ambitious, but I mean, we've got a minute. We can tee up the show. I mean, we're going to talk about what we got coming up next week, which is the All You Need Is Love concert. There's 2 nights of that, or 3 nights of that, 2 nights of that. And we are going to be there fully for 1 night. Running the business, and we'll get into that. Also, we have less than a week till election time, less than a week till cannabis legalization.
And I got a pop quiz for you on that I want to do a little bit later on as well.
Pop quiz.
And this bottom one down here on the board. Now, You can't say that word in the morning.
I will say BS.
Okay, that's good.
The BS Asymmetry Principle. This is something I saw on Reddit today. It's a TIL from Reddit, which is Today I Learned about the BS Asymmetry Principle, which states the amount of energy needed to refute BS is an order of magnitude greater than that needed to produce it. Putting the burden of proof on the person you just lied to or just told a stinking pile to, really.
All right, that's a lot to think about, but TYWL. Today you will learn.
Mornings at the Cabin. Highlight reel.
Cannabis,
yes,
we are a week
less
away.
Than a week.
Yep, so
17th. 17th? Oh, it's 1 week away.
1 week away. Big briefing later on today, so we'll bring you that. And there's a story up on our website this morning. With
Everything
a whole
you
bunch
need
of
to know about how the GNWT is going to screw this up.
Basically, that's one very cynical way of looking at it.
It is a very cynical way, but I mean, there's going to be a gray market, whether they like it or not. There's going to be a gray market.
So here's pop quiz. Minimum age?
I have no idea. I don't really care.
This is what's interesting to me is I suspect like barely anybody knows any of this stuff yet.
18.
So minimum age is 19.
Same as alcohol, right?
Yep. How much can you legally possess
30,
in public?
30 grams.
All right, so that's good.
Yep.
And where can you buy online legally?
Where can we? You know what? I don't know. I mean, I know that the liquor store wanted to be open on the first day, but they're not going to be able to do that. Is
Uptown Liquor Store will be
Uptown
open on the first day, they say, according to the newspaper this
but
morning.
But a private one, say like Harley's, that wants to do it will not be. They have about 6 months to wait.
Theoretically, about 6 months. Okay. I would imagine it might take a little longer in practice.
What? Private sales are going to take longer than that? They're going to drag their feet on that? No.
Put it this way, the legislation allows that 6 month window, and then we'll see.
But I mean, if
I would imagine it take a little while. So online, the NWT Liquor and Cannabis Commission will have its own website. Mm-hmm. That is the only place you will be able to legally buy cannabis online in the Northwest Territories.
Okay.
One website.
In the Northwest Territories. However...
Well, as in, while you are sitting in the Northwest, you can fly to Calgary and order from somewhere else. But
I can buy legally right now from Vancouver.
My understanding is that is your sole source of supply. That website
is ludicrous. I can buy right now with a prescription from a doctor in Vancouver. I can buy
with
cannabis.
A prescription from a doctor, right? Yeah. That changes things.
Okay, fair enough. All right. But I mean, if they're going to handle it any way like they handle liquor, or say using the Woodyard as an example and having a full year of delays because of antiquated BS rules, I imagine that the private sale of this is going to take much longer than 6 months.
Yeah, I think it will take longer just because people are figuring out stuff that's new as well.
But I mean, if people wanted to grow their own, they're allowed to. What is it? 4 plants?
Mm-hmm.
4 plants is tons. Like that, you could really harvest a lot from 4 plants. I mean, it takes some doing, it takes some learning. But I mean, if people really wanted to avoid all of this, right, you could just do that. But I mean, I imagine you'd have to buy the seeds
through the government's website.
Through the government, right? Or maybe there's one in the pack that you got in the mail, maybe.
Like it make it sound like the extra fries you get at a Burger King.
You never know.
And you're like, a few fell out.
I love
here.
bag fries.
So they used to have a thing actually in the Burger King restaurants in the UK that said specifically that they did that on purpose, that they would knock a few into the corner of the bag just because they knew that you'd enjoy it.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So maybe we could do that with cannabis.
Yeah,
GNWT
just accidentally whoops.
Here's an ounce and a couple of extra grams sprinkled at the bottom of the bag.
A couple of extra seeds there. We just gave you 4 plants. Whoops.
I mean, I imagine they haven't talked about what the quality is going to be, or where are they getting it from is the other question.
I would imagine in about 5 3/4 hours, that question will be answered.
Yes, fair enough. I guess
so. Tomorrow I will have that stuff. I don't have it yet. We just have the basic stuff so far. But yeah, all those sorts of questions I imagine will be answered. The Uptown liquor store in Yellowknife will sell cannabis. The downtown will not.
Ha! Interesting. Very good. Well, we will hear more from you a little later on about that. I look forward to hearing about it.
Yeah, come on.
Nah, that's fine.
Little knowledge never hurt anybody.
No, little knowledge never hurt anybody.
A whole bunch of cannabis might do.
No, it won't. Unless you still have a developing brain, then apparently that's what they're telling us, right? But they would never lie to us, right?
I think it's pretty obvious that if you're a kid.
Really?
No.
It's obvious that it doesn't, or it does?
It's obvious that it would hurt you if you're
Why?
a kid. Look at all the studies.
All the studies? All the studies done by the government of Canada? Dun, dun, dun. I'm joking. I know. Developing brains, cannabis, yeah. But I don't have a developing brain anymore. Mine stopped developing when I smoked cannabis for the first time at 14 years old.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast, where we delete all the bad bits and make them sound at least semi-coherent.
So we got a big show coming up next week. The All You Need Is Love show. It's going to be at the top night, and it's going from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right?
Right.
And it's all it's all at the door, and bring everything by donation, and it's for a wonderful cause. And I know this is the thing. I mean, we're going to be involved with this. We were actually going to put a band in it originally, remember?
Right.
And then
that was the ill-fated plan.
Yes. And we didn't get together. And also, there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. AJ's out of town. Adam's out of town.
Life got in the way.
Life
as it does.
Finds a way to mess up all of your plans. But it's a wonderful. It's a Beatles tribute and celebration of love and music.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of bands from around the city. A bunch of people just wanted to get together and play some Beatles tunes, playing Beatles covers for the evening, and it's going to be a great time. The cause for this one, which is something that's kind of near and dear to us, it's a person that I went to high school with.
Right.
Clyde Elias, and his partner Tara Wedson, had a little baby boy last November who has spent basically his entire life in the hospital,
right?
Less a month. And I just got a message that it's no longer Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's Friday and Saturday only. So you were right.
See, and that's what I thought it was.
I know that's what you
I was just nodding along when you said it's 3 days. Okay.
Here I am being just the professional that I am. But so Friday and Saturday, which is great. So he's been battling challenging heart ailments requiring complicated medical interventions. He's had a couple of surgeries, 3 surgeries so far, 2 on his heart alone. And now came the news last month that he needs a heart transplant. So this little baby boy, Jackson, less than a year old, needs a heart transplant. He's on the list. Clyde and Tara have been forced to move down to Edmonton to start their life there, to move permanently. They've had struggles trying to keep their apartment here, which is just heartbreaking because, obviously, you got to pay your rent and all those things, but you think like something like this happens, you'd want like a property owner to be like, you know what, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But so that's what the cause is. So everything's going to be by donation, which is going to be great. We're going to be there on the Saturday night. We're going to be hosting the entire thing.
Yeah.
We're going to be attempting to live stream it. Now we haven't tested it yet, but we're fairly confident that we could do it much like we did Folk on the Rocks.
Right.
So we'll be streaming it, doing some live video, having it just so for people who can't make it.
Right.
Or people out of town who want to hear and maybe provide some donations, they can do that. We're going to set up probably a PayPal account that you can add money to. There's also their GoFundMe, which we'll share the link to as well.
Right.
Which is the goal is $10,000, and they're at about $2,600 right now. So we would love to fill up that coffer as well. So if you guys are out there and you want to listen to some Beatles tunes, it's going to be a great night of music. I mean, these have been successful nights. We had the Tragically Hip one last year, and then or what is it? Last May, 2 Mays ago, May 2017.
I think it was last year.
May 2017, and then the Dead Poets was May 2018.
Right.
So they had the Tragically Hip one, That money went to cancer research, and then last time it was Dead Poets Society, which was a great success as well. And so this is the Beatles one, and we're all very much looking forward to this, and it's going to be a great night.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Come out, listen to some off-key caterwauling.
That is not a judgment on the band. That is a deep-cut Simpsons reference.
Good to see if those boys on the old Sullivan Show.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I really wish that we had pulled together and were able to perform. But I think I think we'll be better used
Absolutely.
As hosts for the night and raising some funds for Jackson, Tara, and Clyde for sure.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the Cabin, Wheeler and Lekter. Before we get into this next little bit, I just want to send a big shout out to Scott Bakula. It's his birthday today. Quantum Leap is one of my favorite shows. He never leaped home. He never leaped home. That's how the series ended. He's like, he never leaped home. He just kept leaping and leaping into different realities, and he never got home.
Huh.
Sam.
Did the show get canceled?
I think so.
That explains it. He might have gone home eventually.
Yeah, but that's how they ended it. Just a line on the screen that says, and he never leaped home. Ooh. Good Lord, that's depressing.
That's lame.
It's not.
That's stupid.
It was a pretty lame show. I loved it though. It was great. You never watched Quantum Leap?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
What about Star Trek? One of the Star Trek Enterprise. He was the captain on Enterprise.
Oh,
the Enterprise TV show.
Enterprise.
Yeah.
Wait,
that was like the one that came out a few years ago.
Okay, no, never saw it.
Oh, and Kate Reed just messaged us and said it's also Adrian and Breck's 10th anniversary, but it's also Scott Bakula's birthday. I was going to say Scat Bakula because his name is trademarked. Well, happy anniversary to Adrian and Breck.
Happy anniversary, Adrian and Breck.
Yeah. And happy birthday, Scott Bakula.
Uh-huh.
Also in Necessary Roughness, where he played an aging quarterback. Came back for one more year of college eligibility. Robert Lozia's in that movie with Hector Elizondo.
Okay.
And Kathy Ireland.
I don't know any of these people.
Also, Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider
played the commentary guy for the college.
Well, that one I know.
Yeah, there you go. He was the
little
Texas
ashamed
State,
that's the one name I know out of the
Texas State Armadillos was what their name was.
All right. Sure, it's great. Moving on.
Oh, it's great. So we had a story this week about the I think it was yesterday about the ice. Get off the ice.
Yeah.
City yells at overeager Yellowknifers. I don't think it's just Yellowknifers. I think there's a lot of tourists out there who are probably getting out on the ice because maybe for some of it it's the first time they've seen ice on a lake. I don't know.
Right. It's a little of both, I think. I heard a confession of someone who just couldn't help themselves.
I know, it's tough.
Had to walk on Prosperous just a bit.
It's so early.
Just till they got scared, and then
of course they got scared.
Back.
It's not thick enough yet.
No, it's not safe.
Not safe.
No doubt about that.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Behind the old ski club. So, like, I'm right by the old ski club there in Niven, right? So we walk on those trails every day, take the dog out. Down there, there's a little pond. There's a little pond, perfect size for a little ice hockey, a little pond hockey. And I was like, oh, wow, this is perfect. I think I've just discovered something, like an idiot. I'm Columbus, and I've discovered. But there was a couple of hockey nets down there already. But went out a little bit. Like, the dog went out on I kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
But, like, she was perfectly fine. It's that pond is almost ready. I walked out a bit, started to crack a little bit. So I think another couple of weeks of this weather, we're going to be all right. But although we're apparently hitting a warm snap. So that ice might melt a little bit because we're supposed to be getting above zero for the next
It's supposed to be kind of like, highs just above zero and then for the majority below. But my real hope is that we have like no snow for the next couple weeks. Oh, my God.
And it's just clear.
Yeah, the lakes just freeze clear and we can skate across the lakes. Like, how cool would that be?
Look at all those dead fish. No, but it's don't go out there yet. You're a little eager. I know it's early in the season to have some freeze over. I also saw some posts last night from some houseboaters who are saying, "I cannot get home tonight. I can't really walk across it, and we can't really boat across it."
Yeah,
so,
a little thick to break through it now. So,
well, someone picked up a couch on their way, and they were like, "I may have overestimated." So it's one of those times that freeze up and break up is always a time that you got to. But it's happening a little earlier this year. It might take a little longer. If it's going to warm up and kind of refreeze and whatever.
This is definitely the time of year and the breakup time where I really admire the just like the the resilience of the houseboater community. Like these are these kind of shoulder seasons.
Yeah.
These are where I'm just like, no, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, when you don't pay property taxes, Scott, I feel like the burden is lessened.
I suppose so.
Not at all. I am fully in support of the houseboaters living off off the grid. Off the grid. Like,
off the grid-ish.
Yeah, about 100 feet away from civilization.
Yeah. But these are these are the times of year where I'm just like, no. I know I could never be a houseboater because of these
and also admire their
seasons.
resilience and carting their own dump all the way to the dump.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
The first time that bag splits in your canoe, you got to question your choices. But I mean,
getting your canoe all the way to the dump is it's not easy.
Exactly, because it's just full of poop. So yeah, good on them. Isn't it funny how the freeze up and break up of the ice also coincides with relationships in y'all?
I've heard that theory. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, spring is upon us. It's break up on the ice. Time to break up.
Yes.
And then freeze up is like, hey, let's try again. I need someplace warm to sleep.
It's a long, cold winter.
No one wants to date in the winter. Somebody wants something guaranteed in the winter.
Yeah.
I want to go home to something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I barely want to go out, let alone date in the winter.
That's true, man. Like, so much effort.
It all sounds awful.
Can you imagine, like, hey, you want to grab a coffee sometime? Yeah, let me just get dressed for half an hour and go grab a coffee. Wonderful. Yeah, that's why hookups increase, I think. But, yeah, stay off the ice at least for a little while longer. It's just not quite done yet. We got some Advent Brothers, and then a message for humans from other humans.
Cabin Radio's morning show podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
This popped up on my Reddit feed today. Not my Reddit feed, the Reddit feed. I don't really have a Reddit feed because...
Nobody knows how Reddit works.
I know. It took me the longest time. to figure. I still don't know. Because, I mean, if you want to search out a specific, like, subreddit, it's got to be, like you have to spell it correctly because the search engine on it is completely useless.
Right.
Anyway, so something that popped up today, it was a TIL. Today I learned it was about the BS asymmetry principle. Basically, what the BS asymmetry principle states is that the amount of energy needed to refute BS is an order of magnitude greater than that needed to produce it. Bullspit can be propagated quickly, but can be more difficult to disprove. And now this is pretty relevant to our day-to-day life, especially when it comes to Facebook and the propagation of total nonsense that people will share.
Yep.
And there's something to, and there's something that I've always thought about. It's like if something looks polished, or as if it or had a label of a media association or something like that, or if something's presented in a certain way, we are kind of programmed to think that it's true.
Yeah.
If someone says something with confidence or someone says something in a slickly produced video, we're kind of programmed to be like, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
And then if you actually think about it, you're like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you can see for people that don't do that checking, that vetting, how things can be presented as fact and how they can be like, that's interesting.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, we've been programmed for so long by, like, TV and media and things like that for things to be slickly produced.
Right.
It's just propaganda. That's how propaganda works.
Well, that's why you see a lot of really effective scams, too.
Of course.
Especially, recently regarding the CRA and, like, tax-related scams.
Until the very end of it. It's somehow incredibly effective. But, I mean, like, to the very end of it where they're like, pay us in
Bitcoin.
Pay us in Xbox Gold memberships if you could.
Yeah.
That's where it kind of all falls apart. I mean, it's so unfortunate that people have been duped by that because of fear, right? Because of the fear of not paying your taxes and being arrested for it or anything.
Well, and that whole Phoenix Pay system too. I mean, who knows what's going on there? Maybe Bitcoin is the preferred currency or method. Who knows what's going on there?
Well, I mean, physical money is probably going to die very soon. But so the BS asymmetry principle is I mean, it's so much.
Seems pretty realistic and
it's
prominent.
Absolutely realistic. And I mean, it seems like on Facebook there's so much misinformation, even positive stuff. And like I try to take it upon myself to every once in a while be like, this is actually wrong. This is what's going on. This is actually what the deal is.
Right.
And for the most part, most people are like, yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't thought about it that way. Or, thanks for pointing that out.
Right.
But a lot of times people get really, really defensive when they're pointed out that they're wrong.
Right.
And even on positive
or
stuff.
Or even just criticize.
Yeah, even just criticize even a little bit. There was a positive one. Have you seen the one where it's like it's a meme of wolves and it's like these wolves are the leaders.
Oh, yeah.
Or these wolves are the sick ones at the front.
Yeah.
And this wolf way at the back
right.
is the one that's like looking out for everybody because they work as a community. And why can't humans do that? It's a very positive thing.
Yeah. The message is great.
The message is great, but
it's inaccurate.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely inaccurate. And like you have just oodles and oodles of evidence to suggest that it's not. And all it takes is like a 3-second Google to be like, I mean, it's a nice positive affirmation, but if that positive affirmation is coming from a place of BS,
it doesn't make it any less BS.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
This is true.
But it feels nice.
But most positive affirmations are coming from a place of BS, aren't they? like cut all those toxic people out of your life. It's like, but that's my dad. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. That's a tough
thing.
Say
goodbye to Pops.
Save the guy.
He's bad for you.
Goodbye to your dad. He keeps sharing Trump memes. I mean, that's a tough one. And we shouldn't make light because that is literally some decisions that people are starting to make. I saw some people on Facebook in my friends list who are like, I think I got to say goodbye to my dad. Because of like what they believe and how they can't be reasoned with, because they keep on sharing the stuff that's completely untrue, but they take it as fact, and you see that in the States like crazy. Well, you see it in Canada too.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, even though we think of memes as still kind of a newer thing, a new age, fad, whatever you want to call it,
information sharing.
Yeah, we've talked about meme culture before and how it can be damaging, especially to those who are just like, that makes an interesting rhetorical point. It must be fact.
It must be fact. Or you parse it down to its most base truth or whatever. And it's just like, but when you say it simply like that with no backup or correlation,
no
then
context,
absolutely.
Then,
with no context. And there you go. And we see it in the States with stuff like Obama's like an immigrant and a Muslim who doesn't have a proper birth certificate. Or you see it in Canada where it's like refugees make $200,000 a year.
Right.
How dare they? Yeah. Or indigenous people have everything paid for by our tax dollars, which is completely untrue, but there's still people who believe it. There are people who are in your friends list who believe that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, the BS asymmetry principle is absolutely a thing, and there's so much more work to do to disprove BS than there is to just put it out there.
Yeah.
Putting the burden of proof on someone that you just told a honking pile of nonsense to that's a tough one, man. That takes a lot of that takes some gumption.
And you fight that good fight every day. We see it on our news feeds. All your Facebook friends.
I try to just be like,
we see the work you're putting in, Jesse. Don't think it's unappreciated.
No, there are people who are actually doing well-researched work. I'm just the guy who's just like, you know what? Shut up. You're an idiot. Whereas people like, I don't know, you see people on your friends list who are like, these are the studies that do this. I'm going to write a really eloquent, like 4-paragraph thing to tell you why you're wrong.
Right.
But at the end of that, the other person's like, yeah, well, that's just your opinion.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, oh my God.
Sounds like a liberal agenda to me.
Yeah, you liberal snowflake. It's so funny that the people who call other people snowflakes are the ones that are living in that nerfed up world because they've never had to deal with anybody else's stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
We're all just a bunch of snowflakes.
We're all just a bunch of snowflakes. Whatever. So there you go. The BS asymmetry principle. If you didn't know about it, now you kind of do.
You're listening to the best of Mornings at the Cabin. Yeah, it's a short show.
Mornings at the Cabin, Wheeler and Lekter with you on your Wednesday morning. Less than a week until municipal election time. People are ramping up. I mean, I just saw a post from Ralty there, from Rebecca Alty saying she's done 30 nights of door knocking. That's some dedication.
Wow.
I mean, how
many doors per night? Let's break this down. How efficient are you, Rebecca?
Well, she says she's not gonna make it to every house, which I mean to me just means that you're not gonna be a good mayor. No, not at all. I am kidding. But no, I mean that's a lot of dedication. I mean, I know a lot of people have been out there pounding the pavement and not going door to door and all that stuff. And had I actually put my name in for that, I would have done none of this stuff.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have put up a sign.
I don't think anyone was entertaining the idea that you would have.
Right? I don't think so. I think I would just be kind of going on my own on the merits, just like he's in there. Put an X down next to it.
Yeah, you like him, right? He's nice enough.
Yeah, it'd be like you got 8 to choose from. Why not pick one?
He was pleasant at that party one time.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. No, he brought up a lot of like territorial politics that was really strange. Like, no one asked him about it.
No one even invited him, as I recall.
It's almost as if he's got nothing else to talk about. I am not an interesting person. Then, of course, and we got the counselors as well. So, I mean, I'm just going to ask you straight out, Lekter. Who are you voting for?
Who am I voting for?
Yeah.
Who am I voting for?
Yeah.
What a bold question.
You don't know, do you?
Well, Dave Chappelle, as you might recall, had a great bit years ago about how white people just don't talk about their politics.
Don't they?
No.
That's all they seem to talk about.
Well, that's true. I guess things have changed since this stand-up routine in 2001.
It may have. Remember back when it was just like things not to bring up at like Thanksgiving. Like it's not polite to talk about politics or money. Right. It's like literally all we talk about is politics and how money is completely inequitable.
Yeah,
and, some people need more.
And we just don't like to get along anymore. So we bring up.
I mean, that's the thing. We should be able to get along with.
But we can't, Jesse.
Well, I mean,
can't.
It's tough. It's tough. It is tough when like the figureheads of like either side. I mean, if you want to divvy it up to two sides,
right,
are just jackasses. You got Trudeau on the left, and then you got whoever's running the right. I don't know, Jason Kenney or whatever, and like he says vaguely racist.
Not Andrew Scheer.
Oh, whatever his name is, who cares? He says vaguely racist stuff and things about like not wanting to allow abortions and things like this. I mean, it's tough to be like, I'm in that camp.
Right.
Oh, great. Because you get colored with that same pen, right? Obviously.
And then in Canada, it's like, well, the NDP is still kind of there, but are any of us really in that camp?
No. The NDP died with Jack Layton. No, that's not true.
No, that's not true.
Pretty promising, I think.
The beard had his chance. He just blew it.
Beard had his
chance?
The
beard.
Which one's the beard?
Mulcair.
Oh, yeah.
He had his chance.
That guy was a jerk.
He blew it hard.
Okay, but I mean, we got less than a week till election time. I mean, there's been a fairly interesting campaign with some people saying some really interesting things. Yeah. I'm saying interesting in a really kind of interesting way. I'm interested. Segregating the homeless, dismantling the MED, putting the whole city under a dome. I don't know who's coming up with these ideas.
You were the dome.
Oh yeah,
that was your campaign.
That was my idea. I still think that's a good idea. No one's talking about it, so I don't think I can vote for anybody who's not going to put this city under a dome.
That one's up for grabs.
If
anyone wants the dome,
that's
policy.
Right. And I mean, some people sticking to their guns and not really saying anything at all.
Right,
which is what they did in their last term. Didn't really make themselves known.
It's a good strategy.
I think right now, I mean, I'm not going to say who I'm voting for, but I think who's like
why not
very interesting for mayor. I think it would be excellent to have someone like Rebecca Ollie as mayor. Not only because it's been 20 years, 23 years since we had a woman mayor, but also I think she's dedicated, she's hardworking, and as far as I know, she's not like in bed with any sort of special agenda. So, not that Adrian Bell is. But I don't know. Yeah. I think I like Rebecca a lot.
Agenda is just like an uglier way of saying policy.
This is true. Yeah. This is true. I'm trying to push my agenda. You mean the thing that you believe in? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
no, agenda has become an ugly word. That's true. And for council, I mean, I don't know. I think Dane Mason's the most interesting. Right now, I think he's one of the most interesting.
The signs don't look as smooth this year.
They don't.
I gotta say.
Well,
the face cutouts they look rough.
They look rough.
You smooth out smooth those edges there.
Detail from Dane Mason.
That's right.
No, but I think
maybe a little sanding goes a long way.
I think Dane's a very intelligent man. I think he's a thoughtful person, and I'd like to see someone like that in council. And Stacey Smith. I like Stacey, and it would be good to have anyone who's Indigenous in the municipal government. That'd be great.
Suppose it's an option.
It's an option. It's there, right? There's only 4,500 people that identify as Indigenous in Yellowknife. So that'd be good to have some sort of representation there.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah. So those are my two. Those are my three that I would kind of put out there that I'm leaning towards right now.
Well, that's great, Jesse.
Yeah. You got nothing?
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. Thank you for that. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for your contribution.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.